News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. The Justice Department released thousands of pages of pictures, phone records, and notes from investigations into notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, revealing new details about the late financier's relationships with prominent business leaders and politicians. As with previous disclosures, the documents included images of celebrities and politicians in Epstein's orbit. Former President Bill Clinton featured prominently in some, and Trump administration officials took to social media to highlight pictures of him with the late musician Michael Jackson, who faced his own allegations of sexual abuse. Another photo shows Clinton swimming with Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. A Clinton spokesperson accused the administration of releasing photos of the ex-president as a diversionary tactic. The Wall Street Journal reports the U.S. seized an oil tanker in international waters off the coast of Venezuela Saturday, this according to two U.S. officials, ramping up its pressure on the government of President Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. Coast Guard boarded the vessel in an uncontested interdiction. The U.S. Navy assets supported the operation but were not in the lead. The operation comes just days after the U.S. took control of another tanker named the Skipper off Venezuela and after President Trump declared he was imposing a blockade on Venezuelan oil shipments involving vessels under sanctions. Blue Origin made history Saturday in West Texas. Bloomberg's Monica Ricks has details.
Blue Origin launched a 6-person crew into space Saturday, including the first astronaut in a wheelchair.
30 seconds into flight.
Michaela Benthos is an aerospace engineer who injured her spinal cord in a mountain biking accident in 2018 and has since advocated for greater access to space.
I think you should never give up on your dreams.
The crew flew 62 miles above Earth in a New Shepard rocket, which the company says requires less maintenance between flights, saves money, and reduces waste. It was supposed to launch earlier this week, but was scrubbed due to a technical problem with terminal count checks. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy says the U.S. has offered to hold talks together with Ukrainian and Russian representatives in Florida as President Trump's administration pushes for a peace deal. Whether the trilateral talks will take place depends on the U.S.-Ukrainian negotiations that started Friday. If they happen, a European delegation that is also now in Florida may join the meeting. Republicans must advance more of President Trump's agenda if they want to avoid a, quote, disastrous 2026 midterm election. Bloomberg's Amy Morris explains from Washington.
South Carolina Republican Representative Nancy Mace told Bloomberg government that Republicans need to make a congressional stock trading ban, term limits, and national voter ID law top priorities. She also advocated for other measures like deporting violent, undocumented immigrants and infrastructure improvements. Mace is leaving Congress to run for governor of South Carolina, and she warned that Republicans could lose the House in a, quote, bloodbath if they don't implement President Trump's agenda. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
An up week for the U.S. stock market. More on this from Bloomberg's Charlie Pellet.
For the week, the S&P 500 index was up 0.1%, NASDAQ up 0.5%, while the Dow was down 0.7%. Stocks advanced for a second day while traders faced the expiration of a record pile of options. The back-to-back advance in the S&P 500 wiped out its loss for the week. More than 26 billion shares changed hands on U.S. exchanges. That's about 50% above the 12-month average. In New York, Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
Federal government workers may be getting an extra long Christmas weekend this year, but it looks like it might not apply to all of the federal government. Bloomberg's Nathan Hager explains.
The Treasury Department says sales of T-bills and coupons will proceed as scheduled on Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas. That's after President Trump signed an executive order declaring those days federal holidays this year, essentially giving the government a 5-day weekend. The Treasury's announcement should give a little more clarity to financial markets heading into the holiday week. The New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ have already said their trading schedules won't change due to the president's order. In Washington, I'm Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
The push to tighten gun laws after the Sydney attack tests a once strong political consensus and highlights the U.S. is enduring paralysis on firearms. Australia once acted decisively on guns. Bondi tests whether it still can. You can read all about it in Bloomberg's Weekend Edition, exploring the places where finance, life, and culture meet. Find it now on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. This is Bloomberg.